The Upanishads are also called Vedanta, or the end of the Vedas, because they form the last branch of Vedic literature, and one finds in them the final aim of the Vedas, which is self-realization. The word Upanishad literally means to sit down by someone, which is the teacher or guru. Think of those days, thousands of years ago, when there were no books, no libraries, and of course, no internet. So the only way to obtain knowledge was by personal contact, and that was in the environment of a forest. Here we have chosen two stories, Nachiketa and Prajapati, in order to exemplify the process of our early educational system. Nachiketa, a story from the Katha Upanishad.
Tasya Nachiketa nama putra asa tangha kumarang santam dakshina suniyamanasu shraddha vivesha somanyata.
Thousands of years ago, there lived a sage called Vajrashravasa. He had a son named Nachiketa. Little Nachiketa used to watch his father perform yajñas, the fire sacrifices. When Nachiketa was about 8 years old, he asked his father, "Father, when will you let me worship the sacred fire?" "Soon after your initiation, son," said the father. Vajrashravasa was glad. "My son is eager to study our scriptures, I see. I should not delay his initiation." In a few days, he asked his son to join the Gurukula, a forest school, where the teacher or guru teaches how to recite and understand the meanings of the sacred hymns. Pupils did not have to pay the teacher, but they had to take care of the guru's cattle and his other daily needs. Nachiketa noticed that some of the cows got old, that they get sick, stop grazing, become weak, and eventually die. He was touched by this earthly cycle of life. He commented to his friends, "There is no old age or sickness in heaven. But how does one get there?" Of course, his friends had no answer. A young fawn liked Nachiketa very much and followed him wherever he went. One day it fell sick and died right in front of Nachiketa. The boy was shocked and puzzled. What happened to the fawn? "Don't take it too hard, Nachiketa," said his friends. "There is life after death." "No, there's no life after death," contradicted another friend. Nachiketa began to wonder, is there really any life after death? He asked his guru for the answer. This is a very difficult question to answer. One has to discover it for oneself. Looking at the sky in the evening, Nachiketa began to ponder, how can I find an answer? Sometime later, Vajrashravasa sent a message to Nachiketa's guru that he will perform a Vishwajit yajna, or fire sacrifice, in which he gives away all of his belongings. He requested the teacher to let Nachiketa come with the messenger to witness this yajna. The teacher happily let the boy go. Nachiketa saw the Brahmins going towards his father's hermitage. Vajrasravasa was happy to see his son arrive at the right time and requested his attendants to bring the cows to be given away as part of the ceremony. Nachiketa noticed that the cows were not very healthy. He worried, "My father cannot expect to go to the bright side of heaven by giving away these cows with poor health. But what can my poor father do? That's all he owns." He further pondered, "He is supposed to give everything away, but I also belong to him. Then will he give me away to someone?" So Nachiketa interrupted his father and asked, "To whom will you give me, father?" Vajrasravasa was not very happy with this question. "My own son mocks my offering," he thought, and did not answer. Nachiketa asked the question again. His father got irritated. "He is testing my patience." And he continued to keep quiet. Nachiketa insisted to have an answer and asked for the third time. And this time Vajrasravasa burst out with anger, shouting, "I will give you to Yama, the god of death." Now Nachiketa understood this as a kind of curse, and the sage regretted. "Oh, what have I done? Please do not leave me. You are my only son. Don't go to the abode of death." Nachiketa calmly consoled, "Father, do not grieve. Let me go with your blessing. Death is part of the cycle of life. I am no exception. I am happy that you have given away the dearest thing of your life in your sacrifice. Now you will see the brighter side of heaven." Nachiketa's parents, struck with grief, watched Nachiketa proceed towards the abode of death. On arriving at Yama's palace, he was stopped by the guard. No one ever came to Yama by his own will. The guard had no instruction as to what to do. Yama was out, touring over this mortal world of ours. He returned and saw Nachiketa at the entrance. "Who are you?" inquired Yama. Nachiketa politely introduced himself and said, "I have been waiting here for the past 3 days for your arrival because I now belong to you." Yama burst out, "You were here starving? No one offered you shelter or food?" He felt guilty. In order to compensate, Yama offered 3 wishes to Nachiketa. "Then the first wish that I choose is to grant my parents peace of mind and make them cheerful," said Nachiketa. "Your first wish is granted. Your parents will greet you cheerfully when they see you released from the jaws of death," said Yama. "What is your second wish?" Nachiketa continued, "There is no hunger, no thirst, no old age or death in heaven. Teach me the sacrifice, the ritual, by which I can have that while still on earth." "I will be glad to teach you that while you are here," said Yama. "Now tell me, what is your third wish?" "Some people believe that there is life after death, and some do not. Tell me, Lord Yama, who is right?" asked Nachiketa. Yama was very thoughtful. I never expected this question from such a young boy. But is he ready to receive such instructions? So Yama tried to evade the issue by saying, even the gods are not certain about this. Please ask me some other question. Who else can give me the answer to this question, said Nachiketa, other than you, who preside over death? Yama tried to allure Nachiketa to different worldly attractions of life. Ask me for all the riches of the world. Ask me for all worldly pleasures. But do not ask me about the life after death, requested Yama. Nachiketa, however, was insistent. I am not interested in things that bring momentary happiness. I want that which will bring everlasting bliss. To me, this knowledge outweighs anything that I can think of. Yama was pleased to see the steadfast faith of the young lad. I will tell him the truth that lies behind death, said Yama to himself. Nachiketa, listen to me carefully, started Yama in order to fulfill his last promise. People seeking momentary pleasure forget that life is a cycle that goes through birth, growth, old age, and death. Nothing stays permanently with them, neither pleasure nor sorrow. Upon death, the body perishes, but not the soul, which is called the Atman. By staying on the righteous path, this self of ours goes beyond the perception of pleasure or sorrow. It is like the master sitting on the seat of his chariot, and your intellect is the driver of the chariot. The intellect controls the horses, which can be compared with the desires that come through various sense organs, like the eye, smell, taste, touch, and other desires. The Atman neither takes birth, nor does it die. It is free from all attachments and impressions from mind and senses. It only watches how one has handled life, controlling his desires to attain immortality. When one gives up desires, one becomes immortal, and even in this world one realizes Brahman, the Supreme Being. One attains the eternal peace. After getting his instruction for attaining divinity in this mortal world, Nachiketa, who had grasped the truth to a great extent, returned home to the great happiness of his parents. As Nachiketa grew older, his fame spread, and later many seekers of truth came to his hermitage for guidance.
शृण्वन्तु विश्वे अमृतस्य पुत्राः आये धामानि दिव्यानि तस्थु वेदाहमेतं पुरुषं महान्तम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात् तमेव विदित्वा अतमृत्युमेति नान्यः पन्था विद्यते अनागतः